Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Missing since last month, crews were out searching for Danny Tin Can Napier this morning, this time with dogs. Emergency responders believe he fell into the North Fork of the Kentucky River at the end of February when the river was very high. WYMT's Macy Marie has more on the ongoing search and also talked with Napier's niece about it.
Missing for a month.
I pray that they can find him.
Searchers took dogs and boats down the North Fork of the Kentucky River in Perry County, looking for Danny Tin Can Napier on Friday.
We've had a lot of people assisting in this for the last month.
Perry County Emergency Management Director Jerry Stacy says several organizations joined the search, something Napier's family says they're grateful for.
It means a lot.
Nikki Stidham says a lot of people looking for her uncle know him. She describes her uncle as a caring man.
He loves kids a lot. Now, he bought us a trampoline about every summer when we were little.
And she would love to share those memories with her uncle again.
I would give anything for them to find him and him be okay, or him, but...
Afraid, though,
it's been so long.
that time is not on their side. In Perry County, Macy Marie, WYMT Mountain News.
Anyone with information about Napier's disappearance is asked to call Kentucky State Police Post 13 at 606-435-6069. A Knox County grand jury has indicted a Michigan man after an armed robbery turned deadly. It happened back in January at the A&B Quick Stop between Barberville and Corbin. Police say this man, Philip Lee Lewis, shot and killed 25-year-old Gary Medlin while he was trying to leave. Lewis continues to claim he's innocent and is being framed. He is still behind bars tonight on a $1 million cash bond. Officers with the Hazard Police Department want to warn you about a scam that's making the rounds again. The scam involves someone calling and saying a family member of yours is in jail. Sometimes they will even have the name of that person and someone pretending to be them. The scammers will say you need to send them money to bail out your loved one. Police say they will usually ask for gift cards or a money order, which is a red flag.
Use caution when you're dealing with anybody, requesting money or credit card numbers, anything like that.
Police say if anyone ever asks you for money and you are unsure if it is a scam, trust your gut and give them a call first. Now, you will hear from a woman in Hazard who almost fell for this scam tonight on our late newscast. A popular Southern Kentucky Veterans Club is in some hot water. The American Patriot Club in Laurel County was raided by state alcohol beverage control agents and police. A lot of alcohol and some gambling machines were seized. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on that from Corbin.
I am just off of U.S. Highway 25 between Corbin and London. Now, Corbin and London are some areas where alcohol is legally sold. Those are wet areas, but I am being told by ABC officials that this right here is a dry area. And they say that this raid came about from a year-long investigation into bootlegging.
It's a club where usually everyone goes to hang out, party and stuff, and relax and chill.
People say on Friday and Saturday nights it is common to see dozens, maybe even hundreds of cars at the American Patriot Veterans Club. But state ABC officials say they found a lot of evidence of illegal alcohol. 100 bottles of distilled spirits, 1,000 bottles of malt beverages, and several gallons of moonshine were confiscated. Agents, joined by state police and London police officers, also took some gambling machines.
I wish the best for everyone involved, and I hope everyone does okay.
And officials are telling us that American Patriot does not hold, nor could it hold, any kind of license to sell alcohol from the Kentucky ABC. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
A statement from the Kentucky Alcohol Beverage Control Agency does not mention anyone at the club facing charges. The former UK student accused of killing a 4-year-old boy was back in front of a judge today. A grand jury indicted Jacob Heil for reckless homicide and DUI. Police say Heil hit Marco Shimwell with his car near Kroger Field during a UK football game. The 4-year-old died 2 days later. Heil's attorney says they are still figuring out all the details about what happened.
And the reason we continued it is because we're still reviewing the discovery. We're retaining experts to go over the accident reconstruction report as well as other discovery that we've received.
Heil's hearing was continued until the beginning of June.
Well, we woke up to those mostly cloudy skies, but the good news is that we're seeing those clear out and the sunshine finally returns. You can see that here on our Whitesburg camera. We're seeing just a few clouds in the skies. Really going to see those clearing throughout the overnight hours. You'll notice satellite and radar bringing in those scattered rain chances just to our north and to our east over into the Charleston area, but really that's where most of them have stayed. And as we look at those temperatures, we're seeing a pretty wide range of temperatures. Some spots into the upper 40s to lower 50s, and even down into the Cumberland Valley into those mid to upper 50s. Now we do have that cold front moving in. Going to make for a chillier night, but we do have some warmth on the way. I'll talk about that and more coming up in my full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Steve.
All right, thank you, Paige. The Big Blue Nation is still riding high after last night's blowout win against Abilene Christian. The players getting some rest today ahead of tomorrow's matchup against Wofford. WYMT's Will Puckett and Willie Hope join us now live from Jacksonville again with our Big Blue coverage. Guys.
Yeah, Steve, some much-needed rest, and most importantly, some much-needed rest for PJ. But, Willie, they've got a lot to worry about in this Wofford team.
They do now. Of course, we learned that PJ Washington will most likely will not be on the floor today for the Wildcats when they take on Wofford, actually, of course, tomorrow. Head coach John Calipari said it's just hard to see Washington playing at this point, and that will make tomorrow's game against Wofford even tougher. The Terriers have not lost a game since December 19th. That's about 4 months. They're putting together a historic season in wins with 30 and wins in a row with 21. And trust me, they can shoot it from downtown. That's all the more to worry for head coach John Calipari and Big Blue Nation.
Because I told him before, we would be playing Wofford because you and I know how hard this game will be, especially with PJ out, how hard a game it'll be for us. I don't think there's any, we're a favorite. I mean, come on now. I mean, this team is legitimate in every form and fashion, including defense, including toughness, including veteran play. Yesterday we started 4 freshmen.
Now, Kentucky did not defend the three earlier this year. They've gotten better as of late, but with a player like Fletcher McGee and a team like the Terriers, you never know. It could be raining threes tomorrow against Kentucky.
Dude can hit it from anywhere on the court, Willie. Now, 4 hours before that game tips off, Kentucky fans will take a walk down the street to a little place called Manifest Distilling. Now, Manifest has been around since 2015. They're in the heart of an area of Jacksonville that's right by every athletic facility in town. Inside that building, they make whiskey. Don't mistake it for bourbon. That's a Kentucky staple. And then as UK alumni come there to prepare to cheer on their Cats, they hope Big Blue Nation finds an appreciation for a drink that has roots deeper in American history than our own beloved bourbon.
I love working with it as someone who's made bourbon. I think it's really colorful, really flavorful, very similar to bourbon, but at the same time very unique in and of itself. And people are kind of falling in love with rye again, which I really love.
Not all whiskey is bourbon, but all bourbon is whiskey. And Willie, at 11 o'clock tomorrow, there's something else pretty big in Big Blue Nation going on.
That's right, of course. The men's team is down here in Jacksonville getting ready for Wofford tomorrow, but the women's team is up in Greensboro, about a couple hours north. They're getting ready to take on Princeton in the NCAA tournament for the women's team. Now, I sat down with Blair Green and Macy Morris, the 2 Eastern Kentucky products, earlier this year and talked to them about their special bond. Their bond virtually started at birth.
I wouldn't say we were forced to be friends because I'm pretty sure she wanted to be my friend.
Macy Morris and Blair Green grew up as close friends, not even being rivals in high school.
Sometimes she would always talk a little talk, more Macy, but
could separate them.
It just make me mad and make me more competitive.
Now teammates at the University of Kentucky, both heralded in-state recruits. Their connection, though,
Kindergarten. Yeah, kindergarten.
A memory their mothers share.
We're not going to tell you how long. That's a long time. 45 years.
It all started during a coal boom all the way down these halls of Harlan Independent. It was the 1980s.
Really, Harlan wasn't very good up until that point.
And the Lady Dragons were struggling.
They'd never won the district championship and never really been a factor in the 13th region.
In deep search of a diamond in the rough, enter teammates Debbie Hoskins and Patty Myers.
But when they got there, they kind of turned the thing around at Harlan.
It was a chance meeting in Sunday school that culminated in the two leading the program to new heights years later.
Ended up winning the first regional tournament, winning a game in the state tournament.
That was 1987, their senior year. Hoskins and Myers signed with different colleges, but time and distance would not stand in their way.
I think we get along so good because we have the same mindset about everything.
The two were inseparable.
Almost like we're sisters. Yeah.
Fast forward to today, and that bond is even more relevant with Macy and Blair.
I love having Macy here, but like just having someone to look up to if I have any questions.
3 years separate them. Macy a senior and Blair a freshman.
I mean, I love Blair, and she is my little sister, so I want to see her be the best she can be.
But it's that connection.
And then just someone who's like, just kind of takes me through the ropes and shows me what to do.
That's helping in some ways to build Kentucky back to national prominence.
Basketball is is our first priority, so they just we didn't have to force it, it was just natural to them.
After all, their friendship started before they could ever comprehend it. So it's amazing how one chance meeting in Sunday school can turn into 4 outstanding basketball players and a set of friendships that will probably last a lifetime. Now the women's team is set to take on Princeton tomorrow at 11 a.m. up in Greensboro. That's on ESPN2. And then right after that one, you can flip over to WYMT and watch the men's team take on Wofford tomorrow. That game time is set for 2:40 or approximately 25 minutes after the LSU and Maryland game. Sending back to you, Steve. Live from Jacksonville, Willie Hope, WYMT Mountain Sports.
All right, big day for UK tomorrow for sure. Thank you very much, Willie. Now we'll get you ready for tomorrow's men's matchup with Wofford with Wildcat warm-up beginning at 11:30 here on WYMT. The game is scheduled to tip off at 2:40 here on WYMT. The winner heads to Kansas City for the Sweet 16 next week. Now we also have a local team to cheer on. The U-Pike Bears advanced to the Sweet 16 in the NAIA National Tournament yesterday. They took down Talladega in a 4-point nail-biter. Tonight, though, some might see them as the underdog. They take on the #1 seed, Benedictine. Tip time is set for 7:30.
Now those gusty winds are because of a cold front that's just to the north of us. Will that continue overnight? We'll bring in some chillier temperatures, and some sunshine and warmer temperatures are on the way, along with those scattered rain chances. We'll talk about that and more coming up in just a few minutes.
But first, a woman and her baby are laid to rest days after she was shot and then gave birth. Friends say they still can't believe it.